Give it to me, choir. Well, it's time to go. This is the song I broke up with my girlfriend to. This and the entire album of Vampire Weekend. And now whenever she hears that, she gets sick. Check this out. I'm a genius. More surface area. That's better efficiency. Better efficiency for your camera. Welcome to the Jeff Show, ladies and gentlemen. We're doing things a little bit different now. Yo. Jeff Show, Jeff Show, Jeff Show, Jeff Show. Show. Faka like a ding dong. 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 I like that. I'll try. I don't know how to do it. Got it, thank you.
Okay. You feeling it, ladies and gentlemen? You feeling right? Come on, dance with me now. Okay. We're gonna go a little wider now. You earned your right. You earned your privilege. You wanna dance some more? Okay. All right. Let's do it. Not like that. Keep it nice. Be gentle with me. That's what I said. Here we go. There was a man on the road and I said him to say. There was a man on the road and I said him to say. There was a man on the road and I said him to say. There was a man on the road and I said him to say. There was a man on the road and I said him to say. There was a man on the road and I said him to say. There was a man on the road and I said him to say. There was a man on the road and I said him to say. There was a Gosh, that was annoying. Play something nice. Gentlemen, the workshop portion is really the worship portion.
Yeah, listen, girl, we gotta go now. Listen, girl, we gotta go now. Listen, girl, open now. You get me the thing, but ain't it going now? You get me the way, it ain't going now. You get your way, it ain't going now. Day been day, my name is going, name is now. Rip that time to boom, name is now. Then you got a scat man grooving that, grooving that, 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 grooving that. Let's find something. Stay dry. I got skin. Now it's okay if you don't got it all figured out. That's why we got the Lord to tear away doubt, to teach us. And when we feel him speak to us, say, I see you. Hard times and the Faraday figures. And I know that there's something that I've been waiting to tell you. Thank you for everything. Thank you for everything you've done. Thank you for letting me have this wonderful form of expression. Yeah. One more time. And then we gotta go home. That was Piano Classianet, performed by Jeff Streetmatter, a student of the early, bright Beethoven. Beethoven, in his many compositions and his sudden change of temperament and mood, could rise an audience to striking emotion. It was as if he was shaking his fist at God himself. Beethoven teaches us that the difference between the artist and the man who accepts his fate is that the artist, I forget what the rest of the quote is. The artist will turn his pain into pleasure. The artist will turn his pain into pleasure. The artist will accept his pain, accept his fate, and compose and create.
Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo 11.
You are coming into the first stage of consciousness. Remember everything you see. Wasn't always this way. Once upon a time, I had hopes and dreams. You're coming back from your slumber. You're becoming awake again. You're becoming full of purpose, full of wonder, full of surprise, full of magic, full of power, full of grace, full of perfect majesty, righteousness. Thank you for coming today. Thank you all for coming. It was very nice to have you. Thank you for participating in this podcast. You want to know a fun random piece of history? The Middle Ages technically happened after the fall of Rome. We were around 500, and then go until the Renaissance in 1400. And right before 1400, you reach the pinnacle of the Middle Ages with like mounted knights and beautiful tapestries, and they had plate mail armor for the first time, so they had to get crossbows, and eventually in 100 years or less than that, guns, weapons. So this was the romantic era of medieval life. Let's play some medieval music, and I'll tell you more. Yes, this is what I wanted. I'll show you how to make a medieval song. Yes, come gather around to hear stories of the Middle Ages. Ah, yes. Well, after the dissolution of the western half of the Roman Empire, because of course it continued on in the east. We just don't count that because Roman influence spread to, the tribes in Europe that they inhabited. So the Germans became unique. They became Christian Gothics, and they formed a culture. There was the Celts in France and Spain who became a brand of Romans and actually really carried the Roman legacy forward. In fact, the first big ruler in Europe after the Roman Empire is several hundred years later with Charlemagne. Charlemagne is a French king, and he takes the surviving Christianity and unites it into a constitution of sorts for lords to work for him, and he can depend on them to gather up troops if he needs to go fight a war, if he needs to go complete a raid. So they supply him with troops. He exacts taxes from them. He spends money on them.
this system really takes off in England around the crescendo of the period I mentioned towards the end, and I think I could be totally wrong on this, but around the 1300s, you have the movie Braveheart in England and fighting with Scotland, and there were rebellions of the Scottish like William Wallace and Robert the Bruce. So in order for the English to control that island and to force all these kingdoms, Wessex, Sussex, and all these kind of Vikings, and there was, French, there's always people coming in, so they wanted to get a kingdom. And the Kingdom of England was, in the 1300s, was cemented. The English influence across the island locked it in because they made castles. And the thing about castles is they're such an expensive building project that it's been hundreds of years since we had the kind of institution, enterprise framework, and contract, social contract to be able to pull off things like that, because these would take decades. And the lords who owned the castles would often kind of ransom some money, like make a down payment on the fief, but then they could like work the land and collect taxes and make influence for themselves and stuff. So, let me fast forward you to another era where kings and their influence is not enough anymore. And the first city-states begin forming. Like, this is when we think of empires and world powers and colonizing the world. And so we go to the 1800s, and Napoleon is at the helm of the French Revolution, taking Europe by storm. And people are afraid. This is when he introduces modern constitutions, modern government. This is the first time that a military wages total war. Napoleon wages total war. It means burning civilian merchants and exterminating the British and any of their, protected assets. And war becomes mechanized.
I'm reading from my book on Napoleon, and it goes through the entire European universe at that time. And I read through the chapter of Beethoven last night. So I just wanted to tell you some things about him. Beethoven's dad, and so this is going to be long, so listen to this when you have time. Beethoven's dad was destitute, and it suggests that both him and both his dad and his grandpa struggled with alcoholism.
There you go, buddy.
And to rescue the family from poverty, the father forced Beethoven to practice, and Beethoven hated it. But the torture succeeded, and the boy came to love the art that had cost him so many painful hours. Beethoven met Mozart briefly. Mozart was astonished at the youth's fertility of invention and sureness of touch. Beethoven was not designed for popularity, but he was rarely without a rescuing friend. Mozart and Beethoven's encounter was brief, but afterwards in Vienna, Haydn accepted Beethoven as a pupil. Haydn didn't charge very much, but their relationship ran short because Haydn found it impossible
accept Beethoven's reported deviations from orthodox rules of composition. So then Beethoven appealed to Antonio Salieri, the contemporary of Mozart. Salieri charged nothing to poor pupils, and Salieri found him a very eager student. Soon, Beethoven was considered the most interesting pianist in Vienna. Beethoven's life takes a sudden turn when he starts losing his hearing. And to make things worse, his trauma and the humiliation of seeing his father drink himself to death leaves Beethoven with this extensive fear of humiliation. And as he's going deaf, he becomes increasingly shy about it. He writes, "For almost 2 years I have ceased to attend any social functions, just because I find it impossible to say to people, I am deaf. If I had any other profession, I might be able to cope with my infirmity. But in my profession, it is a terrible calamity. Heaven alone knows what is to become of me. Already I have cursed my Creator and my existence. I beg you not to say anything about my condition." Beethoven takes a vacation, and while he's in the countryside, wandering the nearby woods, at short distance he sees a shepherd playing a pipe. With despair, he realized he could hear no sound, and this was a turning point, for he realized that only the bright, brilliant explosion of an orchestra could reach him. This is maybe his lowest point in his life. He writes in his diary, "O ye men who think that I am malevolent, stubborn, misanthropic, how greatly you do me wrong, for you do not know the secret cause of my seeming so." Only 1 year after his cry from the depths, he composed his third symphony, the Eroica, and entered with it his second and most creative period. Now, I often confuse the Third Symphony with the Seventh Symphony. And of course, most people don't know anything about that. They know the Ninth Symphony. The Seventh Symphony, the Allegretto movement, is considered one of the most moving, melancholic pieces. And when I first played it in symphony, I was told this story, learning later that it actually belonged to his Eroica, Third Symphony. During the French Revolution, Beethoven was a strong admirer of Napoleon. However, when Napoleon crowns himself emperor, he flies into a rage and says, "Is he then, too, nothing more than an ordinary human being? Now he will trample on all the rights of men and indulge only in his ambition. He will exalt himself above all others, becoming a tyrant." In this period, he's working on his Third Symphony, which originally was dedicated to Napoleon. And in the original manuscripts, you can see his penmanship of the leader on the manuscript. But when it was published in 1805, the Eroica Symphony bore the title Heroic Symphony to celebrate the memory of a great man. During these first public performances, as Beethoven's growing deaf, and he's playing with his orchestra in Vienna, he would crouch down behind his piano at pianissimo and gradually rise, and then during a fortissimo spring into the air. People commented on his symphonies that had such surprising swings of mood. The Seventh Symphony, as it turns out, was written several years later, and in fact not at the ascent of Napoleon, but during his downfall. In May 1812, while Napoleon was massing 500,000 for death in Russia, Beethoven issued his Seventh Symphony. Here is a somber dirge for lost greatness and shattered hopes. And here too is tenderness for fading but cherished loves.
Did you know Beethoven was the first artist to have a Patreon and loyal subscribers? Amidst his relative fame in Europe, he sends letters to the monarchs asking for a small fee to receive the privilege of receiving his composed works before they released to the public. This gave the private salons of monarchs a distinguishment that their private concerts held the highest, the latest fashions. Beethoven charged $1,000 in today's currency for this privilege. And to give you an idea of what this sum of money means, we're going to go back in time 15 years earlier, when Beethoven was living in relative poverty. And we have access to his books to understand he kept his spending to a stoic minimum and generally spent $70 a month for his rent and $30 a month for his food. Now, it's easy to guess these figures and pull them into today's period because rent probably costs more like $700 and groceries more like $300. So either multiply it by 10, maybe multiply it by 20 to understand that this fee of $1,000 was really more like $10,000 or $20,000. This is the premium he could charge for his talents at the height of his career. We finally get to 1824, 3 years before his death. He completes his Ninth Symphony, the Ode to Joy. Here, his struggle to express his final philosophy, the joyful acceptance of man's fate. A man troubled with injury, but doubled with ambition to release the music trapped inside his soul. This symphony broke through all the trammels of classical order, and the impetuous monarch let the pride of his power carry him to massive exaltations that sacrificed the old god order to the young god liberty. In the profusion of shattered altars, the themes that should have stood out as pillars to the edifice disappeared from all but esoteric view. The phrases seem unduly insistent and repeated. An occasional calm moment was overwhelmed by a sudden fortissimo, flung as if in rage at a mad and unresponsive world. A few years later, Beethoven's health failed, and he died on March 26, 1827, after 3 months of suffering. A few moments before his death, a flash of lightning illuminated the room, followed by a sharp clap of thunder. Aroused, Beethoven raised his right arm and shook his clenched fist, apparently at the storm. Soon thereafter, his agony ended. We shall never know what that last gesture meant.
So good, oh, I know you look so good. Oh, when I knew your face, really gonna be this way. I wish you'd sing along. Hand in hand, never do the better, and then I know I've seen it all. Your face and go, and it's so melting deep, Tennessee and waiting and on. When you jack it up and you feel